Here we are, everybody. And it's now my job to just repeat basically a lot of what I just said for people who are watching later on in YouTube videos. Sorry, live viewers. But TaToH, it was previously top 5. Some people would argue maybe he's not top 10 right now. He's looking to prove everybody wrong. He got 2 wins in the opening round. And I think TaToH's looked good there. He beat Barles, who's playing amazing. And he will look for many more. And then Lix got swept, unfortunately, against Leary. But honestly, Leary is my favorite for the group. So I think today, T-West, is when we find out how good Lix is this season.
Yeah, and that group is Leary, Barles, MBL, TaToH, Lix, and Repard. So when you look at that, you're probably thinking Leary number 1, and maybe Lix, Repard, most likely the 5 and 6 players. So TaToH getting a win over Barles feels kind of like probably Barles, MBL, TaToH competing for those 2 other playoff spots.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. But maybe Lix will completely change that today, right? Like if Lix gets a 2-1 victory, live standings would be 3 for TaToH, 3 for MBL, 2 for Lix, and then the 2 players above. So it's very easy in our scene to predict how certain things are going to go because players have been so... had been around for so long and they've been so established. But I just wondering how aggressive Lix ends up playing. I think Lix has a reputation for being a messy style, but that's mainly from his team games. Like in his 2v2 World Cup, which is one of the most legendary sets that I've ever covered in AoE, he just created chaos for Yo, and then Yo played the game normally.
That's how he plays with Yo.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw also the Terra Nova duos. That was a tournament with like 50 custom maps. And Team Yo won every single game. Lix turned every map into a villager fight map.
Yeah, exactly. But then you play him in 1v1s, and he doesn't always do that. So I like it because you have the wild card. But like here, if you create the chaos, you can't have Yo to come in and carry you. You're going to actually have to play real solid, high-level competitive AoE. So he's bringing in his hunt here as the Mongols on high tides. And TaToH's got Persians. TaToH already making a move to the north for the dock.
Yeah, and Lix just lowering lowering his first elephant, not going for the dock. It is definitely viable, especially with the Mongols on this map. Just to go up, ignore the water, try to do men-at-arms and pressure on land. Yeah.
And we've seen a couple different build orders where you can just skip water entirely. In the Dark Age. Typically, it's like you go water at the Dark Age, and then you go, like, you don't add any fires, and then you go step Lancers or Fast Castle or something like that. But we got the early barracks here from Lix. I've been liking this meta, but it immediately puts you in a position where you're behind if you don't find the damage. So the scouting for Lix is critical right now.
Yeah. Also, Mongols on this map, if he wants to mill the south, he did take a bit of a detour there with his scout just to find some zebras. He can.
Yeah. And I think that is something that more people need to do. Not players who go for water, because when you go for water, there's already so much, I guess, risk in the investment there, and you don't want to lose water and then lose 4 villagers. But if you're giving up the water in the north, the whole reason we designed the map this way is so you can have an economic boost elsewhere. So maybe that's why Lix has picked the Mongols. He's actually up. He's actually clicked up, so no militia. This is going to be an 18-pop man-at-arm build from Lix. What is that?
Ooh, no mill from him either. He's just going straight to the gold. Feels almost like that same opening you do for a team game on the flank. We'll see. I wonder if he goes for 2 ranges right away if he wants to be really aggressive behind the men-at-arms.
Well,
he has 3-4 vills over to gold. That's a lot of gold.
Well, the timing here almost matches a forward for classic Lix. I don't know if he'll do it, but sometimes in 2018 or 17, you would see man-at-arms like this into 4 villagers forward for a tower. Just something to point out here, T-West. TaToH will have the fish, but he will have a really awkward front of his base there with the berries. So eventually you need to mill. And if Lix constantly controls the front here, maybe things even out. And Lix is bringing the militia around that direction now.
Also at home, Lix, no loom. So this is 18 pop, no loom, men-at-arms.
Wow. Like, guys, you just normally cannot achieve these times. Right? Like, this is insane. He hits Feudal Age at 8 minutes to go for one of the toughest builds in AoE. And here he comes. What does TaToH actually scout here? TaToH saw the barracks I don't know if that barracks and this uptime tells him man-at-arms, though. I think TaToH is assuming this is going to be scouts. That's what I would
Lix is
assume.
going to get 2 goats.
Yeah.
He's going to find 2 goats there, but TaToH's walling. He knows something's up since he saw the barracks.
Okay.
He can feel it.
But, I mean, Lix could block this off, though. And Lix is blocking it off. TaToH can see the man-at-arms. If he can get a palisade down, he can get the trap, and TaToH does. He could lose the villager still. He also might not be able to hit the palisade wall very easily, but TaToH does, and that's nice damage control from TaToH, but down goes the palisade. Oh, this is worth it for Lix. If he can kill the Vil, and he's so close. He gets one.
He gets 1. Can he block this?
Oh, wow.
That's 2.
Yeah, that's really good.
TaToH had Loom, too.
Yeah, okay, so
2 Vils dead, and 2 goats lamed.
Yeah, but the goats are coming back home for TaToH. The bigger thing for TaToH now is he's going to get pressured on water. This is a masterclass from Lix. TaToH is never expecting water against an 8-minute man-at-arm build. How is TaToH isn't on gold? Like, TaToH was completely unprepared for all of this. This is the perfect 1-2 punch from Lix.
Yeah, now TaToH has to fight on water when he's already taken losses on his wood line. He wasn't prepared for gold at all. And he can do 1 fire galley because he did Loom earlier. He'll have to mine gold for another.
I'm just really impressed that Lix has been able to not skip some critical steps in how a game would play out. Like, obviously, the man-at-arms on the water are impressive, but he has double bid-axe. He's got a healthy amount on food right now. He's going for the archer range behind this. It's just very, very clean play. And TaToH is basically just stuck here defending with a couple skirmishers right now, and he's been sailing around with his fishing ships hoping to survive, but I think he lost 1, and he could lose more if more fire ships continue.
And now another lumber camp under attack by the men-at-arms. Oh, and Lix is going to get another villager.
That's
and
so
maybe
good.
even a 4th?
You know what?
He's going to back off.
You know what detail would be super sick here and tell me Lix is prepped? Is you don't actually follow up the archers to TaToH's base. You send the first archer over to the shoreline to snipe the repair villager. Because if TaToH doesn't have that repair villager, he's losing water. I guess TaToH's going to be losing water anyways, but I'm really impressed with Lix here. And it's not TaToH being underprepared, in my opinion. It's just an amazing play from Lix.
Yeah, right. It feels like TaToH did almost what he needed to do when he walled the lumber camp. That scout just got in.
Yep.
But that's part of the men-at-arms rush, knowing how to block with the scout to keep those walls open.
And now TaToH won't have the fish. So now he'll have to transition to food elsewhere. He's running out of goats, so he'll go for the mill. The mill on the hill has a nice ring to it, but it's extremely awkward to lock down long-term for TaToH. And there go the archers and the spearmen for Lix. To the north to take the repair villager. And if he's paying attention to this, he should find it. And Lix is locked in. He's locked in. It's just a perfect game so far. We'll see if he can keep it up. But, my God.
He knows exactly what to do, and while that Vil's killed, he also went to the hunt in the south. So he is everywhere on the map.
Dude, I was saying in my cast earlier today that I feel like there's a 2 to 3 year or 2 to 3 tournament lag when we create new maps on players taking advantage of certain areas. Because this tournament, we've seen more people taking the hunt in the south on high tides. We've seen people on bypass, like taking the outside res more. The list kind of goes on. On quarry, people are cutting through way more than they ever were. So it's cool to see it. It is risky, though. And Lix, he's taking a bit of a risk here, not having any army at home. And TaToH's hungry for revenge. And TaToH, nice revenge. 1 villager kill.
Yeah, he is. Lix has the range up, but was thinking about going forward. We saw him kill that Vil on the shorefish, but now he has to defend himself at home without any army. I think what you're saying, though, is in maybe 2 or 3 years, people will go to the middle on Valley.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. And that's my hope anyways, because right now there's only been 1 player. This is where I think TaToH's the better player. When you have the transition off the early builds, and now it's just pure like intuition and adaptation. This is where the better players should thrive. I'm starting to see some cracks in the armor here for Lix. He got housed. That tower on the back was maybe unnecessary. He needs more farms right now. He's definitely realizing how difficult TaToH is to break down. And TaToH doesn't just have 1 fire in the dock as well, T-West, so he could easily come back on water to pressure Lix if Lix isn't careful.
Yeah, that Persian dock takes a long time to be cleaned up.
I think Lix just lost... Was it one more Vil? Is that one body from earlier? I think he just lost one more Vil on the berries.
That's the second Vil.
Okay.
So what do you think about this stable from Lix? Feels like it's maybe a bit early when he should probably know TaToH's coming forward with archers and he needs a few skirms out first.
Yeah, well, I think he misread the game. I think he expected TaToH to have skirms there, and he thought that a scout or two would add value. So I just think that's a bit of a misread of the situation. And maybe sometimes what you practice is you practice the first 8 to 10 minutes, and then everything else is just adaptations. And so as TaToH's scout goes in there looking for the weak villagers, so that's confident. And TaToH's going to get chased away. And TaToH, his tower looks much better for the long run here, right? It protects the gold, and he's got the woodline on the back. And TaToH's fairly walled up right now. So I think TaToH, as he comes back on water now, I think TaToH's feeling pretty good all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think it shows how good of a Civ Persians are. They can take all that damage in the Dark Age, basically lose the water, and they're still okay. Oh, and TaToH has a demo. TaToH has a demo.
I don't think Lix was expecting this. Lix has a demo too, though. Lix has a demo. And...
Oh, can he save the Vil?
Villagers weak. Repairs become important here. There could be another fire galley for Lix, but yeah, Lix is going to lose water. TaToH regains the water. Well played. Can maybe start to fish again, and he already is. Lix, though, has a big archer mass in the back, chasing down TaToH's army and dropping the market, thinking about Castle Age. What a close game so far. There is about 200 resource difference with the resources collected and only 2 to 3 kill difference in the KD.
And honestly, if you're against Persians and you're only down by 200 resources, that's not that bad. Sometimes we see Persians, especially on these hybrid maps, they're 1.5k ahead as soon as players are clicking castle, and Lix will be the first one up. And we have seen a couple of games where players try to go FC Step Lancers. This isn't an FC, but it is also an option for Lix, especially if TaToH has a lot of skirmishers out.
If you check Lix's Fog of War, he is just now finding out all of this, right? He doesn't know about that big line of houses. He doesn't know the berries are almost gone. I guess he just found out, but TaToH's structured his base pretty nicely to defend for the most part. Lix will trade away the scout, so he did use the stable to make that. And just hoping to kill off the ranged units here, which he does. But Lix is actually getting armor on the cav. I think I would cancel that here, to be honest with you, T-West. I think playing crossbow and cav archer is fine. I don't know if armor works, but maybe he just wants one knight to get into TaToH's eco to create some issues for him.
Maybe, but he's adding another stable. Well, he's adding 2 more stables. He's going to go 3 stables. This has to be Step Lancers then.
Yeah, maybe. Does he remember he added the first one? Because the first stable felt kind of forgotten. He's getting bloodlines now.
Well, he'll have an extra then.
It's really important that he trades against these archers then, because if he wants to go, Lancers, he needs the crossbow upgrade denied from TaToH, and yeah, that's a good fight from TaToH. I think Lix took the fight because he clearly wasn't planning on the upgrades, and he's going to try knights with no fishing eco, with 11 no horse collar farms that only have 700 food remaining. This is a big military commitment for Lix that has to pay off soon.
Yeah, he still has a few vills in the south on the shorefish and the hunt down there.
Yeah.
So that will be good for him. But I think maybe knights are a reaction to not killing those archers and knowing that he'll need something against the crossbows to start with, at least.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, TaToH's not expecting +2 knights. I don't think he's expecting knights at all. I think he's expecting cav archers. Like, that's what I would have expected here. And TaToH's not fully walled yet. There are a couple archers running around. TaToH is fully walling in the north, though, I think. The tower defense. But the knights can still get in. So TaToH's like, hold up a second. He's got knights. I need to be walled. And he does get the quick walls down. And this is just not the situation you want to be going knights, right? You want to be raiding. You don't want to run knights in 1 by 1 against an army like that. And
yeah, and you want TaToH to be open. I think actually he has managed to full wall himself. He'd need a quick wall by the TC and by the berries.
Yeah.
But other than that, Lix has been losing knights to those crossbows and can't get in.
TaToH found the villagers in the south with a skirmisher. Lix knows he's spotted. He will run away. I think if Lix wants to go with knights against the crossbows, it's still fine, but he might want to have some siege as well. It's still only 13 crossbows, to be honest. It's just the fact that he lost 2 knights kind of hurts the massing of them.
Yeah, he has 5 knights now, but you feel 2 or 3 knights behind where you want to be. You're waiting to take an engagement, and TaToH did a monastery behind this. Will probably have monks by the time he really wants to fight.
Yeah. At 3 stable knights is just a very big investment that has to pay off early. It's very rare you see 3 stable in early Castle Age. And just what a great job from TaToH. I know the Persians have their bonuses, but like TaToH was really thrown off in the early stages here. To lose 2 vills and then almost immediately lose your fish can win a game on high tides. But here he is. Lix is snagging relics. Lix, I think, has enough knights to kill this army now, and he does see it. This will come down to TaToH's micro here, and if the knights can group up around the crossbows. TaToH needs some time back at home to mass another army. Let's see how many kills he gets here.
He's going to take the fight. This fight will come down to pathfinding and whether Lix can actually take the engagement.
Yeah, it's click priority. So if you're spam clicking the crossbows, you can kind of block off the knights. Lix could also just click his knights in front. Really what he's doing, though, I think he knows he has enough army to win the fight. He's just pulling back some of these weak knights to heal them up. That's good work there. And he does have the monks already. And now he adds in a couple lancers. So he full clears it. Nice clear for Lix. Second town center on the way up. But TaToH still has some fishing eco in the north. TaToH is Persians with 2 town centers pumping out vills. TaToH has a very healthy economy and even a 3rd town center in the south.
And he's going to go Cav Archer plus Camel. And having the Camel option against Knight plus Step Lancer is great.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think if TaToH just holds right now, if he doesn't take any risks, if he's walled, if he has monks waiting at home, the list goes on. I think it'll be very tough for Lix to break him. This is such a big issue with the Mongols. They're good early and they're good late. But in the mid game, they don't have the bonuses the Persians do. Unless it's Cav Archers, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of the hole the Step Lancer fills for the Mongols now. That they get up to the Castle Age and they have that early power spike. But TaToH lost the army, but other than that, did a great job holding off the early pressure. And he's up by about 20 vills and booming with the Persians. He must feel really good about this position here.
Yeah, I think so. I think Lix is also recognizing that there's just not a lot of areas for him to do damage. So if you're not going to do damage, you do need to boom yourself. So it's good for him that he's on the TCs. I also think it's good for him that he's on stone. But he did not see TaToH. TaToH looped the entire way around that mill. And TaToH comes in out of nowhere, completely against the run of play. Will find the villagers on stone, and he gets rewarded for it.
Oh, he does. And Camels even can block a bit here. They can slow down the pathing on the vills so they don't get to the tower. That was great. Before even Ballistic comes in.
And now TaToH sees the army as well. So TaToH's like, okay, your army is here. It's not at my base anymore. Maybe I can be more adventurous with my Cav Archers or with my economy. Look how good TaToH's eco is, too. He's sometimes late with Wheelbarrow, sometimes late with some of the farms. That's what I felt watching him in the first round, is that his he's just late with a couple eco upgrades, but he's locked in right now.
Yeah, I don't see a way for the Mongols to outboom this. This is already a 30 vil difference.
Yep. Yeah, I think the castle's the key. You just need better units at this point. And Mangadai is maybe one of the best units in the game. But it's going to be tough. 30 eco difference. Eco upgrades are similar, but the castle's not exactly that close either. I think Lix could always buy one, but even that will take some time. So TaToH just bending but never breaking. Massive army of CA in the middle. And I don't think Cav Archer Camel is an army that Lix can engage with. And he will even get his Siege Workshop denied.
Oh, that hurts. I mean, it feels like there's not much Lix can do at this point, but it still hurts to have that workshop denied when it's so close to your base, too. You're not thinking about losing that Vil.
Yeah, maybe Lix needs to win this fight, though. The camels are gone. There's Lancers in the mix. TaToH's not exactly running, but I think if he's not running because he doesn't think he has to, because he thinks his army will win the fight, and he will win the fight. More upgrades came in for TaToH. He also snagged conversions, and now he'll snipe the monks from Lix. And Lix has got to be thinking, like, I was ahead. Like, I was so far ahead. Like,
he was.
The opening he could not have asked for a better start. And yet, here we are.
Yeah, I feel like it all fell apart with that stable he added, and TaToH counterattacked before Lix had any scouts that were useful.
I think TaToH also reclaiming water was huge. It's very rare that you lose water and reclaim it. And TaToH was patient enough to wait for 4 fires there and took some really big fights. But, I mean, my God, man. TaToH's heavy on stone now, maybe thinking about a castle soon. 95 villagers versus 55. Lix is bringing more villagers to the back to try and get on stone for a castle. But he's just hoping that the Steppe Lancers are going to be enough for him. It's his last chance.
Yeah, he knows he's against Persians too, so he knows it's only a matter of time before TaToH really comes in with army.
I think if you're going to go Lancers, you got to get the +2 attack at least. But I still don't think that's enough against this many Cav Archers and this many Camels. He's also patrolling up the hill, so none of his units are doing any hill bonus damage because TaToH's positioned on it. And GG, wow. I mean, I thought, like, I was getting really pumped that Lix came to play and that Lix was maybe going to shake things up in the group. And Lix came to play, but TaToH's back, dude. That was a crazy response from him.
Well, that's part of what makes them, or what makes TaToH such a good player. You're not going to win every stage of the game, but even when you're down, finds ways to come back. And I guess the Persians are maybe the perfect civ for retaking water if you lose it, while also counterattacking.
Yeah. I think it's so tough. I can't really suggest much more to Lix than what he did with the opening. I think it was really nice that he went Man-at-Arms into the dock because TaToH lost his fish. But yeah, you're right. Not having the archer range on time, that counterattack from TaToH, adding the stable when it didn't really fit the situation. Those are part of the things that allowed TaToH to stay in the game. And then again, Persians. I think it was the first civ pick for TaToH. Game number 2, we've said this a couple times with some players. Lix is going to need some wins. He played very well game number 1, but he's now 0-4. And live standings in the group, I think that would put TaToH tied with MBL with 3 wins, which won't be reflected on Liquipedia yet. But if TaToH can win 3-0 here, then he moves up and he's in second place in the group. So he's going to be hoping to repeat the success here. We've got African River, a map that you helped balance out for us and tweak a bunch of different things. Very aggressive map, T-West.
A map where I expect Lix to do some Vil fighting. He's already going to the lumber camp using the shorefish, and Dravidians feel like a civ. Well, I don't know. Don't really feel like the most aggressive Dark Age civ, but maybe he could go Men-at-Arms again, just like he did the last game.
Yeah, I think if we're going to see Vils do anything crazy, it's probably just going forward with the Man-at-Arms. I think a forward archer range, maybe some towers could work, but the economy is just so important to keep working. So I think I'm with you. I love to see Lix Vil fighting. I just think that he won't take the risk because Dravidians are so good otherwise. The golden stones on this map, kind of interesting, right? I don't know if you remember the specifics of it because you scripted it, but it's scattered around the middle ring, and then it's usually next to some wood lines, which could always be towered and be pressured. So we see a lot of defensive towers. We see a lot of offensive towers on this map.
Yeah, each player has one kind of close to the TC. Usually it's towards the back of their base. And then there are a total of 6. So 4 more that are scattered around the middle. They can be in different configurations. Here it's pretty even. Both players got one in the back. And then there's one at the top and at the bottom. So about as even as it could be as far as the gold spawns, but they can be a bit random.
I think a detail players need to pay attention to is where the golds are in position to the wood line. So it's kind of unlucky for Lix in some ways, I guess. But if Lix would have scouted this wood line, which he's just now finding, I think that's the better lumber camp because then you can drop a tower and it protects both the gold and the wood, right?
Yeah, I mean, he could do the same thing for the berries, but maybe on this map, since you have the fish, you're not as worried about protecting the forage bushes as you would be the gold.
Yeah, and that's the other thing to touch on then is, of course, the fish. You've got 6 deep fish. That's about 1,000 food, maybe 1,300 food there. And Lix will dock the north. TaToH is docking more towards the south. And there's 4 pools of water that are connected to each other. So you'll find the opponent's dock if you look for it. But it's just a really difficult hybrid map. Because typically you have the water on the land on a hybrid map, but there's space between the players' bases. Here, you are like right next to the opponent. So, and you could even
Lix
dock the middle in theory.
Yep.
So
you could, but the deep fish are on the outside, and Lix has already found TaToH's dock. You'll be attacking that fishing ship with his scout. TaToH's lucky he has a Japanese fishing ship because he can just kind of ignore it for a while.
I hate it when someone does this. But yeah, TaToH's giving him the hits, and TaToH will bring his own scout over, and Lix is like, oh, there you are. Okay. All right.
At least he noticed at time. So sometimes you might think he's gonna like try to take the fight. Oh, will TaToH block with a fishing ship if Lix runs away?
Yeah, maybe. That's true. So Lix will take the fight. Lix will just take it. And Lix wins it. It's a 50-50. And that's so annoying because now your fishing ship has nothing to protect it. I've been saying it for years, T-West. The underdog will always take those fights. Usually the favorite runs away. Only if I'm the underdog, I always lose that fight. But Lix has got to be loving life now.
He does that. And those are Japanese fishing ships, too. You have one that's not doing what you want to do on the fish, and that can mess up your build if you're going for something really tight.
Yeah.
TaToH also didn't leave a Vil out by the dock. That's something you can do. Vils can walk on the shallows and take the big fish and maybe then help protect the fishing ships.
Lix shouldn't lose the
Your
scout.
Lix needs to notice this.
Oh,
Lix, no.
Oh, man, dude. All right, so let's check the scouting for both players. Lix, the only thing he's seen from TaToH is the dock. Shocker. TaToH, he has seen nothing from Lix. So they were both...
What is this scouting?
They're both
What is
blind.
TaToH scouting, seeing the back of the map rather than going forward?
Well, if TaToH prioritized scouting the back, I think that's a good thing because when it gets really messy on this map and you could be towered, people forget it. There's hunt there and gold and wood. So maybe TaToH wanted to early scout that.
Yeah, but like it's always there. Each corner has a hunt, a berries, a stone, and a gold. You can just run there and find it.
Well, hunt's a little hard to find. I mean, it's all really hard to find if there's only one of them. So I don't hate it. But yeah, this really influences how this goes now because they don't know where the target areas are. And also, Man-at-Arms is a little less effective if you don't have the scout to block. But Lix is up way faster. And here come the villagers.
And where is Lix going with those militia? TaToH hasn't seen them yet.
He's going wherever... He doesn't know where he's going. Nobody knows where he's going. But here he is.
Oh, will TaToH see this?
Yeah,
It's
TaToH
gonna be
sees it.
close. He doesn't get in. All right. But Lix, you talked about a forward earlier. He's going for the range. And with these wood lines are kind of annoying because in the back there are holes archers can get in that Vils maybe could tower. So TaToH has to be careful here if Lix gets to an attack position with the men-at-arms and the Vils get distracted.
TaToH's up quite late, but that's not actually that big of a deal in this scenario. As long as he doesn't get hit by man-at-arms, as long as he gets the quick walls down, which he's done perfectly, he's okay. He'll get the walls. He'll get man-at-arms himself. He's Japanese, so the man-at-arms attack faster. And his fishing eco, I know the one fishing ship was weak, but that'll be protected with a fire galley. It'll take Lix some real time to ever get over there with his own fire. So, pressure from Lix, but the tower is going to be the first real thing that gives TaToH some problems.
Yeah, and TaToH doesn't see that yet. I think he should anticipate it, though. He can maybe see the Vil walking past the house.
Yep, getting Town Watch, he'll see it. He does have a decision to make. You could build your own tower in a way that protects your gold and your wood line and shoots that tower down, but TaToH's just going to leave wood lines, repair, and TaToH's man-at-arms are heading to Lix's base, but Lix is already pre-walled. He knew that TaToH would be on the way.
Yeah, Lix has to be careful by that mill, though. Can't really wall the Vils on the hunt.
Yep. Same as last game, multitasking is going to be crazy here. And we even have like a random spearman from Lix down there on the fishing ships, which TaToH has to focus on. That's kind of a fun detail. This game is so hard to transition your economies because you're just so cramped in. Especially if Lix could get to multiple towers. There, I think TaToH would have some problems. But for now, I like TaToH. He just replaces the lumber camp. He'll place his own tower. He's repaired. He'll drop 2 quick houses here. And on water, he's defending. And doesn't lose the fire
like you were
galley.
talking about earlier, that tower from TaToH now, he waited until he had a spot between the wood and the gold, so it defends both of them.
Yeah. And Lix went forward tower, which means he cannot go defensive tower. And he did, it's like the double commitment to the forward range as well. So any counterattack at the Lix's base, and he has no army right now. And TaToH's archers are already on the way.
TaToH also sending an archer back. So this is awkward where TaToH wants to go forward, but he also needs to make sure that those men-at-arms don't break in.
Yep. Lix should know, like, Lix is fully aware that TaToH's going to be over here because he doesn't see a full archer army from TaToH, but running home would be a waste. So he's added a range at home to add archers in defense. So this could go either way. The villagers on the front for Lix as well are going to take that stone, which feels important to me because he could build future towers. TaToH's just repairing. Lix is repairing. They're both going to have to pull the weak villagers away. This is crazy good play, but fletching is already in for Lix. So with fletching
and
being
armor.
in,
He's just finishing armor.
yeah, this is good. This is nice continuous pressure. He's definitely got a small lead, but that's only because he also has the fishing ships, and now TaToH's made his fire galleys over.
And he has to run those vills off of the hunt. He really doesn't want to leave the gold where he has the vills walled, though.
Yep, he'll have to leave. Also, his army is getting hit by TaToH's tower. TaToH's tower gets 2 kills now. I think that was 2 of the man-at-arms, and now Lix needs to back away. You're starting to see how difficult the map is to focus on, right? It's extremely difficult to balance an economy while everything else is happening. In these types of games, I really think an early market can be beneficial to buy and sell resources because faster cast slates can swing so many games.
But it's so hard to afford when you're just struggling to get the blacksmith and range down to start.
Yeah.
And if you lose your fish and you're still needing to pump fire galleys, you're spending wood on everything else other than the market.
Imagine if you had an area with safe economy that the opponent never knew about, though. And that's why I think maybe TaToH was thinking about it with the scouting. The back areas with the stone and gold in the hunt. They're risky now because Lix is kind of on the back of your base, but could be a really nice area to lock down. Close game on water, but Lix is just sailing around with his fishing ships, hoping they don't die yet. They're not working efficiently. Lix needs to mill on his berries. His eco is just a gigantic mess. TaToH's eco is looking a little better, but I mean, even TaToH's economy is looking pretty brutal with villagers walking to the middle of the map right now.
Yeah, it's so hard to balance everything on the map, but there's also a lot of food in the middle. I mean, TaToH can take a zebra, he can take some shorefish.
Yeah.
They have to walk a long way, but that's fine if they have the high efficiency gather rates on all those food sources.
That's fair. Like, this walking distance is normally something you judge and say is not ideal, but I think considering how difficult the map is, that is amazing. So he'll take that. I don't know where Lix is headed with these villagers, but TaToH will maybe find them. Lix wanted more villagers to go for a tower? There must be something else happening right now. Lix has his army in the north. Okay, here comes the craziness. Lix is bringing, like, 9 villagers with an army running towards TaToH's base right now.
He's bringing the whole village with him. Is he going to rush down that tower with vills? No, he's going to do a tower.
If you do the tower, though, you can rush down the archer range. TaToH has a choice to make here. TaToH was never able to take stone, so he can't build a counter tower. This is what I like from an underdog, though. You don't know exactly how this is going to go, but you don't want a normal game against TaToH. You want continuous pressure, right?
Yeah, especially if you Lix. You're the player who's going to hope you can adapt better to the crazy pressure.
Tower doesn't really do much, though, right? Like, that's a good tower to control the hill for Castle Age, but that tower doesn't immediately deny any resources from TaToH, except for maybe a farm. And now TaToH's counterattacking, and now Lix wishes he had a tower here again. TaToH is the perfect call. He saw the army, he assessed the situation, he knew that tower would not do damage to him, and he is blocking the escape of the archers. The villagers.
Oh. Yeah, great positioning by the archers. The skirms weren't there in time. Well, Lix can garrison the tower and vill fight a bit, so he's not dead, but he lost a few vills.
If you put Lix behind you in villagers, you know he's coming to your base. So now TaToH's getting towered again. This tower will actually do something. And TaToH's running away with his archers. TaToH still wants Castle Age. He has no gold to mine right now. And Lix is going to rush down his tower, but TaToH's other tower is perfectly positioned behind this. I don't think Lix knew about it, and Lix is now unsure of what to do.
Yeah, Lix wanted to rush that with vills, but the TaToH's tower just close enough to snipe off 2 of them, and Lix has now lost everything to those towers.
Yeah, crazy game. But TaToH might lose his fish. We have fire galleys from Lix coming in out of nowhere. Lix definitely needs a market, but he built one.
Yeah, he has a forward market.
Yeah. So, and TaToH has no gold income right now until he shoots this tower down. I still think TaToH can use the outside gold. This is where you can send some villagers over and mine some gold. Lix will repair. Nice save on the fire galleys. Obviously, way late to Castle Age. That is not good for Lix. He needs some advantages here. But his economy has just never been good enough. The fact that he's never taken berries, T-West, is a problem. 1 mil on berries here. It's 100 wood investment for 8, 10 villagers to take food. That's the difference in the game right now. That's 1,000 food.
Yeah, you get extra berries on this map. Usually you get 6 bushes. On this one, you get 8. So it is a bit longer lasting.
TaToH is back on his gold. At least I think he's about to be. He's fighting back the tower.
Demo.
Yep, TaToH's got the demo chasing the fires as the fishing ships are going to be targeted by Lix. TaToH's on his gold. He's in Castle Age. Lix is nowhere near. And Lix does not have a very big army either. And oh god, the demo from TaToH. The demo could kill the skirms and the fires. Oh my god.
He gets all the skirms. I mean, 4 fires, though, not enough to clear that. But it's still great.
Yeah, I think it's...
He's lucky he has Japanese fishing ships. Otherwise, those fishing ships would be threatened right now. But he can just run away.
I mean, the thing I'm looking at right now is just the land army. Lix will have 4 or 5 skirms, if that. He'll have feudal age upgrades. TaToH's able to get Bodkin now. And TaToH's ranged army can just go over to Lix's base and do so much damage. Lix is still on stone, so Lix could still build towers, but Lix needs to be on the way to castle or getting some kills quickly. At least there's the fish. So that's a start.
Yeah, but there's a knight from TaToH. And TaToH's sending vills and skirms, and those forward vills could be cleaned up. That second tower won't go up for Lix. And that's important because it gives TaToH gold control. Once that tower on the hill goes down, TaToH will be safe. He'll be able to mine gold. And also has extra gold in the south, so there's the GG from Lix.
Wow. Great job from TaToH. Again, I think solid play from Lix, but just TaToH was able to manage the chaos a little bit better. Lix losing the scout to the villager, T-West, feels kind of bad, right? Because he didn't know his target areas with the man-at-arms. He killed the scout from TaToH. He then lost his scout to the villager. And I would have liked to have seen Lix be able to get a full look at TaToH's base, know where TaToH's resources are, and then decide on what direction to forward from. From my perspective, I think had he forwarded from the north, it is a lot more success in denying the golds long term, which ended up being the key. His initial tower was a good woodline to deny, but yeah, he couldn't keep up with TaToH. He clearly needs some type of early initiative against TaToH to have a chance. In game 1, it didn't work out. And then here, TaToH was ahead most of the game, I think.
Yeah, maybe going around the north where he later tried to do the towers would have made it more difficult for TaToH.
Yeah.
I still feel that the forward range in the long run made it difficult for Lix to deal with TaToH's counterattack.
Yeah.
And he was constantly trying to fight TaToH's base, but had nothing at home. Like, TaToH could be in both spots at once, and Lix was only on one side.
I feel like a forward archer range when you're right next to your opponent isn't maybe necessary. I guess you could say a forward archer range is like a home archer range on a map like this, but if you look at Lix's range next to his town center, I mean, if he produces from that distance, he still has a pretty quick follow-up with army. So, but TaToH just took valuable engagements the whole game. Like, Res Collected was really close, which is a bit surprising, but yeah, TaToH just ended up just winning the fights, both with the man-at-arm value, the archers, the skirms, the navy. Game number 3, and Lix drops the have fun, and he needs wins.
Have fun.
He needs wins. He didn't say good luck.
If there's a closed map where you can Vil fight, he probably won't do this, but I would love for Lix to send all his Vils forward in the Dark Age and try to push down this gate like he's playing Black Forest.
Well, fun fact.
Pretend you're a Black Forest flank, go forward, rush down the palisade, and break in before TaToH gets feudal and gets the HP.
Well, I mean, fun fact, the first elephant is always positioned near the gate. So if you do that, you might actually be able to kill their elephant there. I know you're obsessed with Lix Vil fighting. how's a compromise and just fast feudal into like man-at-arms and towers instead? That could be good for him.
That can work on this map. I've seen Doubt do that. But I think Bengalis are maybe a tough matchup there. Because when you do that, you're not going to have the eco lead with Bengalis that you usually have, or with the Malay that you usually have, because Bengalis will get extra vills too.
Yeah. I think you're doing it with a little bit of a risk to deny a stone, to deny some gold, because you don't know exactly where the positioning is. Lix is actually bringing a vill. And
there he goes.
He's looking for the elephant, maybe. Is going to wall in front of the gate and just wants a forward wall for now. I don't know why. But the villager is here, and the scout is look a little bit more. You could see the elephant. All right, just a wall.
The elephant just needs to walk to the left just a bit.
I mean,
he's probably aware of this. Oh, it walks to the right. Oh, it goes no.
if there's something that TaToH's always done, TaToH loves tower rush. So I think I've been thinking about it the wrong way. I think Lix is worried that TaToH will tower rush, and he doesn't want that. So he just places a layer of palisade walls to keep him safe. TaToH has shown no reaction, and honestly could still tower rush. But yeah, for now he's just gonna have to live with Lix walling up in front of his gate.
Yeah, and well, that will prevent if TaToH wanted to say go for pressure in the feudal age. It means he has to break through the palisade first, so it does slow it down a bit. I don't know if it's worth the vill time though. Because if you're the Bengalis and you're TaToH, and maybe you're thinking of going Rathas, and you're dropping the first castle, you're dropping it at home, no matter what.
Yeah.
So you're just shooting through the palisade, and it doesn't stop anything.
And you cannot drop the castle on the extra sandy terrain. I don't know what to call it. The terrain with the
quicksand.
The quicksand, yeah. So you can't drop the terrain on the quicksand. Man, growing up as a kid, I felt as though quicksand was going to be a way bigger problem in my adult life than it actually has become.
You probably saw all those movies about adventures where people dealt with quicksand, and then you've probably never encountered it. Every hazard that you have down in Florida, quicksand isn't one of them.
I mean, I just remember walking around and I'd see like this kind of like muddy sand, and obviously I still would stand in it for a little bit, but I always thought I was going to encounter quicksand at some point in my life, and still haven't.
So you were training, standing in it. You were thinking, I got to be prepared for this in the future.
Yeah, seriously. Like I was learning about quicksand instead of like how to do my taxes, and all these different things. Like, I mean, I guess at 6 years old, maybe they shouldn't have tried to teach me taxes, but yeah, I just feel very misled.
Well, at least now they added it to Age of Empires, so at least it is part of your life, if in a small way, it's still there.
Yeah, but it doesn't. To be clear to anyone who's out there watching, your units don't actually sink in this. It looks like quicksand, but they don't actually sink. I don't know how the units died. These are all these 5 skeletons are 5 people who didn't want to be converted by monks going out for that relic, and they were deleted. So. But what?
Maybe they just didn't learn about quicksand when they were children, so they didn't know how to survive.
What is this, like, weird mind build from Lix? Because he goes forward wall to prevent TaToH from attacking, and now he's going fast feudal into an attack.
Well, maybe the forward wall just prevents TaToH from doing his own forward wall. Because now he has room to do a tower. And if TaToH were even just to wall a few tiles forward, he wouldn't be able to do that tower.
Well, TaToH sees the feudal age time. We'll know exactly what that means. I know TaToH was watching Doubt in Gold League when he went for the Malay tower rush.
Yep.
That was a really fun series, by the way. I was actually watching Doubt's point of view because he's one of the rare ones who's been streaming his point of view with the delay, which is awesome. I love that so much. And yeah, I mean, Doubt was just crazy aggressive every game, right?
Yeah, and I think Doubt's Civ matchup was a bit better because he was against the Burgundians, who kind of like to stay for a really long Dark Age to afford their eco upgrades. TaToH will still be up, but definitely slower than Lix. And when you're in the Dark Age, your palisades and your houses won't have the same HP they do in feudal. So Lix will break in pretty quickly, and TaToH has to decide how to wall behind this when his stone is somewhat forward.
When a player loses, sometimes I can be critical on their form or maybe their strategy, right? But honestly, I think with Lix, his strategy has been A+ today. I don't know if it's going to work, but his game 1 opening, the way he played game 2, I mean, this is exactly what you got to do. Early aggression against TaToH. It's just another question of if it's going to work. TaToH's walls gave him some time. Pretty soon he can build a defensive tower if he needs to, but he will see the archer there too. So he goes market, he goes blacksmith.
He's going to FC. All right, he's just going to wall this. TaToH's going to say, you know what? I saw Fat Slob isn't playing any more games. I'll do my best to wall this off.
Yep.
There's a narrow passage. I'll build palisades. I'll build behind it. I'll keep Lix out as long as I can and try to get to the castle age. But that is a risk then, if the Malay have a good boom in the feudal age, and you're trying to do mangonels and workshops, and you're spending stone on towers and can't get your own TCs out.
Okay, so Lix will want a tower that either A, ranges TaToH's tower, and then he can put 5 villagers inside of it, which I really like. Or that allows him into the other side here, which seems like the obvious play. TaToH's bringing all of his villagers to Stonewall. He'll drop off his res to click up to Castle Age. I think this tower is going to accomplish both for Lix. I think if he can complete this, he'll just put his archers inside, and he could shoot TaToH's tower down. It's all about holding map control before TaToH could break this.
Yep, but he's doing fletching too for a bit of extra range, more attack against the villagers. And there's not much HP on that stone wall to the south.
True.
Only around 350.
Yeah, true. If he puts the archers inside the tower and he uses some of the vills to attack the wall, that one stone wall could maybe be taken down. And TaToH might need another layer of walls here. TaToH's garrisoned, but he can't range everything there. And I'm hoping the tower bug doesn't affect anyone here. There's a bug right now where when units go in and out of towers, sometimes the towers will stop attacking, which would obviously be horrible for Lix. His whole strategy is for this to work. And yeah, nice job from TaToH. He just boops the wall.
Yeah, but here Lix, he's paying very close attention to that tower. So even if that happens, he's probably going to retarget pretty quickly. And so I think it's more of those late feudal messy tower wars where maybe you have a couple of towers and you're not paying attention, where that can really bite you if you don't notice your tower stops.
I think TaToH's dealt with this pressure very nicely. I think that Lix needs to consider using his scout on the outside, because if TaToH wants to, there's plenty of resources out there to take. And I could easily see TaToH just sneaking out there for a town center. Lix still has an archer range, so a couple archers patrolling the outside could be a play. And TaToH goes for the siege workshop, and Lix is looking at his resources like, uh-oh. I haven't done any damage, and I only have 100 food, so abort.
Yeah, we were talking about that Doubt game earlier. Doubt had men-at-arms with his Trush for pressuring buildings.
Yep.
Lix here doesn't. It was just the vills and towers.
But, I mean, towers with fletching, so TaToH has to repair the mangonels. And if he has 2 towers with fletching and a good repair game here where he can just still run around, he can give himself a lot of time. So this is the right play. Doubling down on this a little bit, I guess tripling down, is the right play. You can't just try and stonewall behind right now, because TaToH will break down the towers and take down the stonewall before you're up. So just give yourself some time. You put TaToH under pressure. TaToH doesn't have a good economy behind this, and TaToH doesn't have a second town center. So these are all positives for Lix.
Yeah, and right now Lix up by 5 vills, and he knows he's seen TaToH doing stone for the walls. He saw the workshop. He knows that TaToH doesn't have the greatest economy right now, so it's not going to be instantly like TaToH throws down 2 TCs and booms and outbooms Lix. He's still going to react with 2 mangonels, and that will clear the towers for sure as long as he repairs. But Lix will see that, and he knows TaToH had to spend a lot of resources training them.
Guys, if you ever get tower rushed on Arena or something, do exactly what TaToH's done. Just wall it out. You build your own tower, fine, but you wait for 2 mangonels. You do not go in with 1. If you go in with 1, it's too big of a risk. 2, take down a feudal age tower so quickly, and it's critical you take down the towers before they can be upgraded. So, well played from TaToH, and yeah, this additional tower from Lix is not going to end up looking very good at all. And now Lix is stonewalling, and his archers are going to be left to die, I guess.
No, but TaToH did a 3rd mangonel.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that. I think that's pretty expensive, unless he tries to push down the middle soon.
Well, yeah, I mean, who's to say this push has to stop? There's one more tower, and there's a tiny feudal age stone wall there. That's it. So if he doesn't want to boom, and he just wants to kill, Lix could be in big trouble. Lix is going to click up here in a second. Thankfully, he's melee. But Lix has some nervous times. I would want another layer of stone wall from Lix at his base right now.
I would too. It's Lix's turn to pretend he's Fat Slob and start walling up the passage.
I really like how Lix is distracting with the scout, though. He's just giving himself some time. The scout! Delete it! Oh, he deleted it, or it got killed, actually. But that scout would have gone to TaToH with the conversion. And yeah, I don't know what you suggest to these archers now, but the archers are going to run in. And the archers still just giving him time. TaToH misses the attack round. Lix's micro was amazing there, but the archer gets converted. And the attack will do nothing for Lix.
He'll get to the wood line. See, these vills, they do have loom.
Yeah.
You know what the archer will do, though, is it will scout TaToH throwing down a TC. So he will know TaToH's starting the TCs right now. And probably can be confident that's the first extra TC because TaToH invested so much into the mangonels.
I gotta say, Lix bought himself the perfect amount of time. Because when you reach Castle Age, your walls get double the HP. So now he's got a way more time to breathe than I thought he was going to. He will drop a university, which I think means he's going to play guard tower defense. A second town center now. And a monastery, so his plan is to get relics. But that one scout being out there for TaToH still feels pretty important with monks being in Lix's plans. I think Lix might, weirdly enough, want to make like a cav archer or two. It's a very doubt thing, but a cav archer or two out of the range to patrol around the map for to protect the monks.
Yeah, I mean, Doubt did make melee cav archers when he played them on this map, so you were 100% correct there.
I was laughing when he did it, but then he killed like... He only made a couple. You didn't plan around cav archers being his long-term strat. He just had the archer range, and it was a situation like this where you don't want to make a stable for a scout. Yeah, and there's a cav archer for Lix. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, and Lix getting 2 TCs right away. He's only down by 4 or 5 vills right now, but he's had a lot of time to stay in the feudal and keep his vills working, so the res collected is pretty equal.
TaToH actually stops pushing the walls. He's maybe expecting a pushback from Lix. He's dropping the outpost now. And he's taking down all the houses from Lix. Lix just got housed because he lost like 3 or 4 houses. And he's also going to lose his blacksmith, which we'll have to rebuild later. I hate that.
TaToH also on the outside. No melee cav archers from Lix, so TaToH can go forward and grab the relic. And do that on both sides. So this could be a 4 relic situation as Lix grabs the one in the middle.
Did Lix not just delete a town center a moment ago and rebuild it? Because I could have sworn he had a town center right next to this wood line. And he just rebuilt one.
I think he did. I think there's an unbuilt farm there.
Did he try and delete...
I think you're right about that.
Did he try and delete his lumber camp and then misclick it and delete his TC instead?
I think so. I think that's exactly what he did. There was that foundation there.
Ay.
I've done that before.
I will
admit,
God.
I've done that before.
You're 0-5 and then you delete your town center. So, funnily enough, in the past, so they have this safe delete in the game, right? And if you accidentally were to delete something important, there's this pop-up. It says, do you want to delete this? Yes or no? And then you have to click yes or no. A lot of players, I'm guessing Lix is the same, have safe delete turned off because they like to tower rush. And if you would try and delete a tower foundation, let's say you build a tower at like 15% and then you go and delete that, it would have the pop-up. And that's annoying because, and you can make mistakes.
Yeah.
So people turn safe delete off, including myself, because of those pop-ups in those scenarios.
Yep. Yeah, same thing for me. It's like the option needs to be fine-tuned a bit more because it's too safe.
But I was told by my chat, which, you know, I think we could maybe sort of kind of trust most of chat. I was told that the tower foundation thing doesn't happen anymore, and they changed it. So I think, like, I still haven't re-added it because I don't trust it, but I believe they have changed it. It should be customizable. It's not, but I think Lix is probably in the same exact category as me, And long story short, that's why he deleted his TC, because there was no safe delete on. And that's the end of that story.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, honestly. I have it off because you try to delete stuff and it stops you.
Yep.
Maybe we need to go through every single building in the game and check yes or no. Does the pop-up show up?
Yeah. Well, here comes the push from TaToH, which I thought would maybe start early Castle Age, but he's been very patient. He sees the guard tower. It's just one guard tower with no bodkin, and he doesn't have his blacksmith because his blacksmith was on the front. So if he wants to panic click bodkin arrow right now, he literally cannot do so without scrambling up a blacksmith. I don't see it anywhere, but that's funny.
And he just did loom. If TaToH realized he didn't have loom, he could have dove the mangonels under the guard tower and tried to get some attack grounds.
Yeah. Hey, TaToH knows. TaToH goes guard tower more than any other player. So TaToH looks at that and says, haha, I took down your blacksmith, bro. You don't have bodkin. Lix might not even realize at this point. Lix is going for a bit of a sneak on the left side. There's a university. He's going for another university? Oh, Lix, you deleted your town center. You're going for a second university. Maybe because his towers are going down. I think because his towers are going down so fast, he doesn't actually realize he doesn't actually realize that he doesn't have bodkin. Okay, and now he's like, oh wait, I have guard tower.
The blacksmith.
Now I just need bodkin. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't realize what he needed to do there, or maybe he had his hotkeys messed up and did a university instead of a blacksmith, because you used to having both of them.
Nice detail here is TaToH's actually healing up the armored elephant with the monks behind. So he's breaking down the wall, and he's pushing the tower. Now, what would happen to me here is I would lose all my mangonels because I would get overconfident. But I imagine TaToH is eventually just going to fully expect bodkin will come in. And bodkin should make a significant difference here in the damage. And it does. And now the first mangonel goes down, and the rest should go down too, to be honest.
So not the cleanest from Lix, but he does get it in time as long as he can repair.
The elephant's thickness is blocking the mangonel from that one tower. That tower cannot hit the mangonel because of the fatness and the thickness and the muscle that the armored elephant provides.
This sounds like one of those Phosphorus strats where he would use siege towers to block arrows because they're taller than rams.
Yep.
And like they block the arrows more, so he puts them in front of the mangonels. That's exactly what TaToH's doing here.
TaToH just...
And you can heal the elephant. You heal it for free.
Oh my god, is he gonna lose his blacksmith again? Oh my god. Lix, your next blacksmith needs to be in the left corner. Like, get it as far away from TaToH as possible. My god. Maybe that's why he built the second university, because he's expecting to lose the first one, but... maybe he has time to get the upgrades here, T-West. This randomness from Lix on the left side is what he needs to shake things up. But unfortunately, TaToH built an outpost there, and TaToH sees it. And TaToH's castle will likely go up. I'm not sure if Lix's will. Lix is getting Bracer out of the blacksmith. And TaToH's still holding the middle.
And a monk. And
yeah.
Now he deletes his castle again.
Oh, God.
Lix getting some work out of that delete key this game.
Yep, that's true. Lix with that delete meta.
I don't know if you've ever seen players' custom hotkey profiles, but I've seen TaToH's before at LANs, and he puts delete on F1. I don't know if he still does it. This was years ago, but he had delete in I guess a much easier to press location on the keyboard. So it seemed like it was a really important key to him to be able to delete stuff quickly.
Interesting. I mean, I once tried to change my delete key to something that was more accessible, and then I just either kept misclicking it or kept pressing delete and it wouldn't delete. And I just said, let's just plan on not deleting. And I just called it a day. I didn't change anything there. I'm not sure. I mean, we all the old players, like I would say Lix and I are old players because we've played for 10 plus years. We have older hotkey schemes that wouldn't match the base version of DE's hotkeys. But I gotta say, like, Lix's win condition here, because he doesn't have the relics, was to push on the left side, TOS. So he's still going to try and commit to this. Forward buildings, forward archer ranges. But TaToH's just, his economy is so good. Like, he's got 50 on food. He's got 30 on gold. He's got 4 of the relics. Perfect game from TaToH again.
Yeah, and what do the Belay usually want to do? They want to get up to Imp faster and win a Treb war. TaToH he was a bit slower, but the timing was still there. The timing was enough to stop the forward castle. And I don't know where Lix even can do damage now. TaToH is basically walled up almost to the edge with all those houses he has. Could maybe add a couple more houses, but
I mean,
castle is going to be a hard thing to push.
You might need to stall a little bit. Like, you might just need to keep TaToH off the left golds because you don't have the gold over on the right or the north. But unfortunately, when TaToH sees all your production buildings and he sees exactly what you're producing and TaToH's got this big of an economy, TaToH's going to be able to just go for the kill here. And Lix is building up army on the sides. He feels like guard towers are enough to defend him. TaToH's going for an upgrade you so rarely see. He's going for siege elephants. So he's upgrading from armored elephant to siege elephant. And the thickness is coming back to Lix's town here. And I think the raids are just going to be insane.
Yeah, now TaToH with the thicker elephants will be pushing through the towers and the barracks. And Lix doesn't have enough cannon out to stop the elephants.
Yeah, bombard cannon gets sniped like almost immediately. There's no production buildings here. All the production is on the side. He is microing there. He is taking down TaToH's trebs. But I feel like these skirmishers on the front are about to receive a phone call. Or I guess like, I don't know, a dove with a carrier pigeon with a message. And it's like, don't forget about us. Come save us. What are you doing? It was the right try, I think, from Lix to try something. He was behind the entire game. And I do have to remind everyone, this was TaToH's home map. This was the map that was supposed to be convinced for TaToH. And it was. But yeah, Lix played well today. He just was not able to get any wins against TaToH. It was a very entertaining set. Game 1, I thought Lix was going to win. TaToH brought it back. Game 2 was kind of 50-50. And then Game 3, TaToH just played super clean against the pressure. Very good display.
Yeah. I wonder what Lix's practice sets look like, because it felt like he had very clean Dark Ages for all the games.
Yep.
But then things kind of fell apart going forward. I know when I've played events in the past, sometimes you get to this feeling where you have a really good build order and everything goes right, but then your opponent reacts in a way that you haven't seen in a practice game before.
Yep, that's fair.
And maybe something like that was why Lix did that stable. Maybe in that first game, maybe the practice games where, oh, I have to deal with skirms, and then TaToH does something different. I mean, with how accustomed TaToH is to these messy games too, he's a player you expect to react properly.
I mean, speed isn't everything in AoE2, right? And neither of these players are known as the fastest. But like, I would say the average of the players that people call slow is like 52 to 60 EAPM average. Those are our slow pros, okay? TaToH's at 60 in this game. And I know it's a slower map too, so that's part of it. Lix has been faster. But Lix averaged out to 39, dude. Lix averaged out to his
39.
age. He's 39 years old or 40 years old. He averaged out to his age. So, I mean, Lix is just not someone who can... Lix strategically needs to get the lead, but when it comes to the multitasking that's required, if he's not already ahead, I think he struggles. So I still think game number 1, like, Lix is going to be like, how did I not win that? 2 villager kills, insta-killed his fish. That's just TaToH being a different class. So tough for Lix.
Should APM go up as we age then? Like, do I have the future to look forward to for getting faster in AoE2?
I mean, my APM has not gone up as I've aged. I'm pretty sure it's going down for everyone else, but yeah, maybe. Who knows? Maybe you're gonna be 80 APM someday, dominating the ladder.
Oh, maybe.